And top of the evening to you, lad and laddess and everybody else. I don't know where that came from. It just came from somewhere. It was random. The timer counts down. It gets to the point where it suddenly goes live, and I'm sitting here staring at a camera and I've got to say something, and whatever comes into my head, that's what comes out. There is no planning. So good morning to everybody. Yes, I think Henrik was the first person to comment, and then I did notice that some of the really early comments that were put up last night disappeared. I don't know why. YouTube is strange sometimes. Good morning to Crispy and Henrik. Some call it fun, some call it fun. Stephen W., who said, will John's coffee be in his hand, or will he have arrived early enough to consume it before the stream starts? The answer to that question is yes and yes. I had a coffee when I arrived, which was not that long ago, but I didn't feel it was quite enough. So I also had some iced coffee in the fridge. So I have a party cup of iced coffee, although you can see through it. You can see the liquid level is right there. There's not all that much left in it. That's all. There was not a lot left in the iced coffee container. Scott is here. Sion is here. Muda Sion. Michael. Imi. Steve the Squirrel is here. Which reminds me, I haven't got the chat thing running, so I had better get that up and going. I really need a checklist. If I don't have lists and guides and things, I just screw up.
System connected. Activating the super house.
And
Squirrel.
There we are. Where are we? Who was I saying hello to? Illuminator. So yeah, Michael Wise. David Howes is here. Stephen George. Good morning to humans, pets, etc. Which we need because Steve the Squirrel is here.
Mitchell said this is a test.
Yes, it's working. Thanks, Mitchell. Austin is here. Hey, I'm on time and not sick this week. It is good to have you here, Austin. And I'm glad that you're not sick this week. Peter, did I say hello to Peter? I don't know. I can't remember.
Peter Lawler said I'm fungry.
You're always fungry, Peter. Okay, so today, during the week, the Conveyor controller arrived, the PCB for it, and I've been doing a fair bit of work in the cleanish room. And
Mitchell R said, the nice part is regardless if you forget to load it before the stream, Steve will always remind you once you start lol.
Yes, exactly. So I got the reminder. Thanks, Mitchell. I've been doing a few things. This whole conveyor project, where is it? This whole conveyor project is partly around streamlining my production capability, which includes having workspaces for more people to work. And so during the week I ordered the bench work and the cabinetry to do the assembly bench, which is going to go all the way down the side of the... Hang on, I'm just going to pull something up. Reolink. Now that I have been told about the Reolink client for Mac, I can't remember who did it. Someone on the stream just recently pointed out that I should use the Reolink client on Mac. Keen is here. Hey, Keen. Trady is here as well. And Mark Laguda. So this is the live camera view. Hey, there's me waving from the back corner of the of the video. This is the live view right now from the security camera in the cleanish room. And this right hand side is where I'm building bench work. And you can see down here on the left, this is looking end on at the black part here is what I'm talking about. This is looking end on at a whole lot of parts drawers that were on the right hand side, and I've just put them on the floor over on the left hand side because I'm clearing this entire right area and building a big bit of bench work through here. And it's a bit hard to see because it's white on white. I wonder if I can zoom on this. Can I zoom? I can full screen, but I don't know if that's going to help. I don't know. Oh, PTZ, pan tilt zoom, but I don't think I can actually zoom on this camera. It doesn't have that capability. Anyway, you can just kind of make out there that white cabinet is the enclosure for some drawers. So what's going down this far wall is 3
Austin's
workstations.
Creations said mouse wheel should zoom.
Oh, really? I don't actually have a mouse wheel. I have a trackball, but I will try combinations of buttons. Nope. I'm trying pinch zoom on the trackpad as well, and that's not working. 2-finger up and down is not working. Don't know. Anyway, focus, speed, zoom. Oh, I wonder if... Nope, zoom doesn't work. The zoom button doesn't work. These particular cameras don't have hardware pan tilt zoom. They're just fixed cameras, fixed. Yeah, so it could do zoom. We could do zoom in software, but anyway, this is getting off topic, and I'm just rambling at this point. So this thing that you can see here behind the open door. So there's the open back door here of Pick and Place Machine 3, and you can see just through that gap. That is going to be a set of 3 drawers. So the way I'm setting this up, in fact, where is my notepad? I have a notepad here somewhere where I was actually drawing diagrams of this. Because I was going through different configurations of how to make all of this work. I found my notepad. Yeah, okay, so let's go to overhead view. This is my my notebook specifically for stuff related to setting up. You know, as I've been working on things, you can see this was May 2021. How long ago is that? Was that 2021? No, 2022. The date is wrong on that. I didn't think that could possibly be 2021. So May 2022, this was planning how I was going to lay out the ceiling, front door dimensions, positions of cameras. So I just keep notes on stuff. Front window frame when I was making the frame, the dimensions. Anyway, I keep notes on all sorts of stuff as I'm working on it. And this was a few months ago when I was trying to figure out the bench.
Imogen Ann said the notebook idea is awesome, Jono. I have started using it for myself too.
Cool.
Smile.
Thanks, Imi. So if we turn it, it's just written this way to fit on the page, but if we turn it this way and we look at it side on, this is like looking at the bench work. My original plan was that I would have a cupboard unit, so a double door cupboards, so you know, handle there, and then a drawer unit, then a gap, which is a space for your legs, and then a drawer unit, and then a double cupboard, and then a drawer unit, gap for your legs, drawer, double cupboard. So that would give 2 workspaces, and the workspaces would be symmetrical. They would have double cupboard, a drawer on each, set of drawers on each side, cupboard in the middle, drawers on each side, cupboard. But I ended up reconfiguring it. So this was me figuring out all the dimensions and the space that I had. So that's 800 millimeters, 600 millimeters, and then the gap in between. And this was the cost of IKEA kitchen units to make that up. And that's about the price. $2,787 was what that would have come to. But I've ended up getting something different. And this isn't actually quite what I've ended up with either. So then I found the Practa range of stuff from Bunnings, which is kitchen cabinets. And this is the new configuration that I've worked out. So I haven't drawn up the entire length. This is just one unit, like one workspace essentially. It goes like from there to there. And there is that is a total length of 2.4 meters, so 2,400 millimeters. And it is a 1 meter double cupboard, then a 900 mil gap for your legs to go, and then a 500 mil triple drawer unit. So drawers on the right, cupboard on the left, workspace on the top. So it's a 2.4 meter long workbench. And then there are this exact configuration is just duplicated. So there are 3 of these, and that makes up the length of that wall. It's not the whole length of the wall, but it's most of the length of the room. Would then be taken up by these 3 workspaces. So each unit, this was working out the costing. So each unit is 1 cabinet at 140 bucks, drawers at 140 bucks, and then the bench top at 119. So $400-ish per workspace, basically. And I also during the week got some other stuff. Wonder if I don't know. I could go off talking about this, but no, because I want to assemble this. This is what I want to get to. So the where am I? So this is my current plan. Anyway, this drawer unit that you see here on the right, the 3-way drawer unit, if I move myself back over here, that cabinet that you can just barely see through there, that is the drawer unit, which is in the first workspace. All right, so one workspace there, then there'll be another workspace here, and then another workspace. The 3rd workspace will basically be where Mick will make it is. So the old pick and place machine, which is currently sitting just there, that'll be the 3rd workspace. So there'll be 3 workspaces along that wall. I need to cough, hang on. Maybe I just need more to drink. I just glanced up and saw Michael's comment. This has already gone mega squirrel. It sure has. Okay. Oh no. Crispian says, hi, is a little late due to breakfast cooking. We're a bit crook here today. Again. Oh, that's no good. I know you've been dealing with a few things recently, Crispian, so I hope you recover and you're not feeling too bad. What did Peter say? Drink. Yeah, okay. I will drink, but I will mute so you don't hear me gulping. There we go. Yes. Austin said, mine will do software zoom with mouse wheel. Yeah, so this is in relation to the video view.
Said glug, glug, glug.
Mitchell did it even though you couldn't hear me doing it. Zion said, well, those are expensive drawers. Yeah, those were they're basically kitchen drawers. So they're not, you can get cheaper drawers, and in fact I have cheaper drawers that are just like office desk style drawers. This is not those. These are much bigger, and oh, Stephen came up with a good question. I'm going to get to that. That's an important point. These are kitchen cabinets, so they're like a higher grade of finish. They look really nice, and they are they're also significantly bigger than the little drawers that you typically find under a desk. You know, on a standard office desk, you have a set of drawers off to one side, screwed up under the bench top or whatever, under the desktop, typically like 3 drawers. Those things are little. They're like this wide and this high. No, these are like full kitchen cabinets. And that ties into Stephen's thing, which is how high is the bench top going to be? The bench top is going to be about 890 millimeters, I think, off the deck, which is higher than a desk. So a standard desk. Where is a tape measure? I had a tape measure out. Let's switch to this. My tape measure was out because I was using it just... Oh, here it is. It's over on the front bench. All right, so a standard office desk is a bit over 700 millimeters high, so like 725, 730. What is that in feet and inches? I don't know. So yeah, a normal sitting bench top is 30 inches. So a standard office desk, I've slightly elevated my desks here. So the desk that I'm sitting at right now is about 755 high. And I'll get back to that point, but I just saw Imi's post, Imi's comment, which is that Chip and I are a bit on the sad side this week too. My kitty that has been my companion for 17 years and Chips for just over 1 passed away, so we are missing the little meows. Oh, that's really sad, Imi. Yeah. Sending all the love. Yeah, losing a pet is can be a really rough time. 890. Okay, so Steve the squirrel converts 755 to inches. Yeah, so a standard desk, like an office desk that you sit down at with a keyboard and a computer and write on pieces of paper, is normally about 730 millimeters, so like 30 inches high. However, lab benches and assembly benches, like if you go into a science lab, the benches are way higher than that. They're and it's because you need to.
Said, thanks, Jono. Hugs all around.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go into a science lab, the benches are not at desk height. They are way, way higher. And that is because you're typically working on equipment at the bench and you need to be sort of a bit more upright as you're doing it. And yeah, I don't even know why normal benches are so low. A standard desk is quite low. When you stop and look at it, it's like halfway up your thigh, depending on. Like my bench here comes to, hang on, can you see me? I'm going to back way off. Yeah, the desk, see where my hand is on my leg? A normal desk height is about here. When you walk up to it, it's not all that far above your knee. You can bash your thigh on it. And that is really uncomfortably low for working on things where you are you're hunched over and trying to do intricate work. Oh yeah, Peter said, office desks are dinner table height, science desks are workshop height. Yeah, with the dinner table, you want it a bit lower so that you can have your food in front of you and be reaching down, not have it at face height. Yeah, Scott says that height is for sitting down into a chair and typing. Yes. So, anyway, the upshot of all of this, the benches that I'm putting in are going to be at kitchen bench height, not office desk height. And if you look at a kitchen bench, they are more like up close to your waist rather than down sort of thigh height. And that is what's going all the way down that side of the room. And that's not necessarily because there are going to be 3 people sitting in there working. It's more that I wanted to have 3 distinct workspaces that can be used potentially for different purposes. So the far end, looking down towards the far end of the room there, which is actually the front of the room when you're when you're coming in from the street and from the office side. Oh, Scott says, I find standard kitchen benches too low for standing use. Yes. That's right. For standing use, definitely. So you'd still need a chair or a stool or something like that. And Crispian said, most kitchen benches are still too low for me. Yeah, but not everyone is 17 feet tall. Yumi says, my desk is hip height on me. If I get Chip to check, then we can get a good unit of measure. Yeah, it's probably about Chip's knee height.
Unexpected Maker said, I just had a look at their Practa kitchen stuff. I had not thought of that as a solution for my bench requirements in my seated production area. So thanks.
No worries. Yeah, so I have spent a fair bit of time looking around for different kitchen units. I decided fairly early on that kitchen cabinets would be the way to go because I wanted a really nice finish. As I've been fitting this out, I have been making compromises. I've been doing things as cheaply as I can, but I don't want to compromise too much on the end result. Like, I've been compromising in terms of using secondhand materials and getting things as cheaply as I can, but that is to allow me to get the good end result and a nice finish. So I had considered talking to two factories away from me, so not next door, but so next door is the coffee factory. Just past that is a custom kitchen factory, and they supplied me some of the bench tops that I have in my front work area. And I had considered going to them and asking them for a quote on fitting out custom bench work in the clean room, but I just know the price would be ridiculous because they deal with building stuff to order. So I've spent a fair bit of time looking around at places like IKEA and other suppliers for just regular flat pack kitchen cabinets that I could buy and assemble and fit out. And the pricing on the where is it? Here. The pricing on this was based on IKEA cabinets, like $480 for a set of drawers. Yeah, that's this is much more upmarket. But the Practa range from Bunnings is, and these are the I don't know if it matters to you. I'm sure you will find it quickly enough, Sion. These are the part numbers, the Bunnings part numbers for those cabinets. So cabinet, drawers, and worktop. And the worktop is 2.4 meters. The current shelves that are in the cleanish room is 3 2.4 meter lengths. So the shelving is exactly 3 units of this. So everything basically works out very nicely. It all fits perfectly. And then that's the, what was I doing? 3 cabinets, 4 drawers, 3 bench tops, but then I reconfigured it. This was different. Yeah, that was a different configuration. Then this is when I was figuring out like a unit, a standard 2.4 meter unit, and then just replicate it. Yeah, so that gets you, these are quite DIY. They come flat packed and you have to do a fair bit of assembly yourself. So you have to be it's not, Sion, I'm sure Sion can handle this. But for other people out there, this is not a price for getting a cabinet that arrives assembled and you can just put it in place. It's not even flat pack, ready to just connect everything together. You actually have to do like panel alignment and then drill and screw stuff together and things like that. You get all of the pieces, you get everything that you need, but you do need a little bit of experience with using tools and building stuff. It's just saving you from cutting all of the timber yourself and yeah, doing all of the edge finishing and that sort of thing. So it's all of the parts required to build a cabinet, and some of it is pre-drilled, but some of it's not. So the first one you assemble will take a little while, and then after that it's quicker and easier once you know what the process is. So I haven't received the rest of them yet. What you saw on
Mitchell
that
R.
view,
said, a more cost-effective option is similar to what I did for my office. Solid slab of wood. Use a small piece of wood that is screwed into the wall. The slab sits on it, and you just add legs.
yes, that's right. So that is a
Mitchell R. said then you just make the drawers, cabinets specifically.
yeah. So that was what I was thinking as an interim measure. So it's got to the point where I really need this extra bench space. It's becoming quite important. And I was thinking, so the way you describe that is exactly how I built the kitchen bench here in the front lab. Strip of wood attached to the wall, and then the bench top sits on that at the back, and then brackets to hold the front of it. So I was thinking of doing that, but I knew that if I took a shortcut, half-assed approach to this, that shortcut, half-assed approach is what would still be there 5 years from now. So I decided that it was worth holding off until I was ready and ordering it and doing it properly. Do it once, do it properly. And the other thing is that once it's all set up, there's going to be so much gear on the bench. There's going to be fume extraction. There's going to be stuff plumbed through it. There's going to be cabling, all sorts of things. I didn't want to put in a bench and then regret having half-assed it. I wanted to do it properly. So this is my semi-proper approach. Anyway, I ordered 3 of each of these things from Bunnings, which are going to be delivered this coming week. So I ordered 3 cabinets, 3 drawers, 3 bench tops, and at the particular store that I ordered it from, they only had 2 of the sets of drawers. So they could only deliver 3, 2, and 3. So I ended up going to a different Bunnings store and I just bought the extra set of drawers myself and chucked it in the car. They're not easy to move. The pack of drawers, like one set of drawers is 40 kilos. So it's it's heavy. You can move it around yourself, but it's heavy. And I didn't want to be moving 9 sets of things, like 9 things. So the rest are being delivered during the week. And that thing that you saw on the video feed, that is the one that I went and bought from Bunnings and chucked it in my car and brought it back here and assembled it myself. So yeah. Anyway, that's what it comes to. $1,200 total to build 3 workstations with kitchen cabinets and kitchen bench top. So that bench top, the $119, that is for a white, it's a white kitchen bench top. So obviously everything is white.
Hey, that isn't a half-assed approach. Make sure you add legs, not a bracket though. It is solid. It is also neater since nothing below. My desk holds more than you described, plus me no issues.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. It's not a half-assed approach. It is doing it properly. But I wanted all of the cabinetry underneath because I wanted... The idea is that by having the drawers on the right-hand side, the top drawer can basically be a tool drawer and drawers underneath for other supplies. Solder fume extraction might go in the cupboard on the left. During the week I got some solder fume extractors. I got 4 big Hacko solder fume extractors, and there's a whole story in that as well, but I won't go into that right now because I want to build this. And that could sit in the cupboard under here. But what might end up happening is I might put the solder fume extractors up on the mezzanine above, so it'll be above the ceiling of this room, and then run the duct down behind the wall, behind the clean room wall, and have it come out on a fitting on the wall, so that the flexible part that goes to the soldering area just sticks out of the wall. Anyway, haven't figured all of that out yet. And back to this view. So the first workstation, so the one up closest to the front.
_creation said, does this mean you're getting more co-op students?
Well, I've already got 2, and hopefully I'll be getting a 3rd soon.
Mitchell R. said
yes.
another reason disconnecting the desk from the drawers, cabinets, cable routing, and cleaning. It helps a lot more than you may realize for dust. Also, easy to move around if you need to.
Yes, so I don't want...
Imogen Ann said life-sized Lego for big kids.
That's true. Life-size Lego for big kids. Yeah, once this is in place, I don't want to have to move it around. And so the bench top is only 600 millimeters deep. A standard office desk is 750 millimeters deep. Kitchen benches tend to be a bit shallower. They don't extend front to back as far as a normal desk. It's going to be 600 mil coming out from the wall, and the cabinets are 500 mil deep, which means that if the front of the cabinet is approximately flush with the front of the desk, there is a 100 millimeter cavity behind it, and I can run cables through there. So my plan is that I want the finish of this to be super clean. I don't want any visible cables or duct work or anything like that. And yes, I know there's a big duct hanging from the ceiling right there. But along this work area, I want it to be all totally open and clear. And having the 100 millimeter gap between the clean room wall and the back of the cabinet means that I can run cables and stuff down there, no problem. And also keep in mind that this wall that you see here, that clean room wall, that is melamine. So it's 16 millimeter, is it 16 or 12? I can't remember. Anyway, it's melamine with a gap behind it, and I can get access to that cavity area from above. From the top of the mezzanine, I can drop cables and things down behind this wall and then bring them out. So I've got full access all the way behind this wall to run whatever cabling and ducts and things I want. Dodgy is here! Yep. Oh, and Mark is here as well. Mark Laguda. I might have said hello to you earlier. I can't remember. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to be able to run concealed cabling and everything behind all of this. Oh, Wagon Load says, I see a video of a workshop in New York that was first class design. Please share. Yeah. I am always curious to look at, to see videos and pictures and things of people's workshops. Looking for inspiration. Now, as I was saying, the first unit, the one that will go up the far end, is probably going to be used for solder paste related stuff.
Imogen Ann said, Jono, you're going to get all of your ducks in a row now.
All of my ducts in a row. 100 millimeters is 4 inches, approximately. So the yes, so what you can see up there, where my cursor is waving around, that is bare PCBs. What you can see up the top, up here, that is stencils in frames. So that's a whole lot of solder stencils. They're probably like 40 of them or something, all standing in a row up there, sitting vertically. I actually put the position of this top shelf very specifically at that height so that a standard size stencil frame would fit nicely just below the ceiling. So it fits that space perfectly. So this whole first work area is going to be related to solder stencils, bare PCBs, solder paste application, all of that. It's the beginning of the production process. So that is getting things ready to feed boards into the front of the production line and then have them come down the line in this direction towards the oven. And then the other 2 workstations will be related to dealing with boards once they've come off the production line. So putting on through-hole headers, doing testing, all of that sort of stuff. So this is the post-reflow assembly area that will be in here. Ooh, Stephen, maybe I made a mistake. Stephen said, the cheap Practor bench from Bunnings is only 2200 wide. Your drawing had it at 2400. That is a worry. Base cabinet, let's see, I'm going to check that. Practor, kitchen cabinets. Where is the Practor benchtop? That is not the end of the world if that is the case, because all it does is mean that the Keen says summer 2400. What's that part number? I'm going to look it up. because all it means is that the gap for your legs becomes slightly narrower by 200 millimeters, which is quite acceptable. Cabinet drawers, worktop, so that is part number 266065. It is 2400. Okay, so this particular one, whoop, hang on, I will get this. I've got to get that, move that back to there, move this up to here. This is the one. It's white on white, you can't really see it. So 2400 by 600 by 25 millimeter. Anyway, so it's 25 millimeters thick, and the question earlier about the height of the height of the bench comes back to, not there, where is, come back one more, there we go. So this is the base cabinet, and it is, where are the dimensions? Height, product, height, 865 millimeters. So that's the height of the cabinet, and then there is a 25 millimeter bench top on top of that. So it ends up being significantly higher than a desk. Okay. Now, I'm just going to hit play on this while I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to start putting solder paste on this PCB, because otherwise, what is the time? 10:37. Otherwise, I am never going to get to doing it. I think I showed this video previously. So this is the KO homing, and the conveyor just homed. KO homes to the front, conveyor homes to the back, and then they are both driving to the same width. And then I drove it to a different width. So let's do one piece for, no, Scott, you don't need to do a fundraiser for me. Thank you very much, but Michael says T plus 38 minutes, introduction complete. Yeah. So, where am I? Okay. While you are looking at that video, I'm going to grab myself some gloves and got to get started on. So you got to speed up that conveyor. No, I don't need to speed up the conveyor, Austin.
Creation said got to speed up that conveyor. Lol.
No, it doesn't need to be fast when it's adjusting its width, because it only does that once at the beginning of the job, and after that it doesn't change. And because I'm a cheapskate, I've used those cheap little 4N28J, whatever they are, I can't remember the part numbers, stepper motors, which are basically just a DC motor with a whole lot of gearing. So, Wagon Loads asked, does the second conveyor detect the location of the first one? No. Tradie said, when are you going to add voice control to compete with Unexpected Maker? I already have voice control. I do it through She Who Shall Not Be Named. Oh, okay. The Need for Speed. What? Some Call It Fun said, you'll need it to afford fancy engineering chairs. Yeah, I know. Chairs are expensive. I was having this conversation with Crispian and Imi at the last barbecue. So the chair that I'm sitting in right now is, to me, it seems expensive. It's it cost me $600, I think. I bought two of these chairs quite a few years ago. So, funny thing is, I'm not even going to assemble this board on the pick and place machine. I'm just going to do it by hand. I don't have a stencil for it. It's like it's a totally dodgy assembly process for this one. And, whoop, hang on, where am I? Where am I? There. What is this part? Oh, this solder paste is not flowing well today. What is this part? Where is that going? Oh, it's a motor driver, of course. That's why it's got the thermal pad on it. What's this one?
Said you were right there, John.
Yeah, so that's right. Chairs. I was talking about chairs. You can go down to like your local Office Works or whatever and buy the typical office chair for, you know, $120 or whatever. And in 12 months, it'll be flopping around. The gas strut will have leaked, so it won't be holding its, it won't hold its height anymore, and it'll just generally be really dodgy. Oop, where are we? Yeah, and it'll be crap, and it'll be hard on your back, and not a good place to be for many, many hours a day. So quite some years ago, so I think it was back in the early days of IVT, so it must have been around 2010, like not right at the start, but still fairly early on. I bought 2 of these office chairs.
Peter Lawler said, "What's wrong with Dodgy?"
Nothing wrong with Dodgy. Dodgy's a good bloke. And yeah, so it was 2 of these for $600, which seemed like ridiculous extravagance at the time. But the logic was, buy it right once, buy it right. And like compared to something like a real fancy chair, like an Aeron chair or whatever, this is very cheap because really good chairs are thousands of dollars. But it felt really extravagant. I'm just checking whether I've missed any spots. I don't think I have. There are remarkably few parts on this board. What am I doing? I don't know. Let's switch to this view. Maybe I should zoom that in. I will zoom that in, and then I'm going to have to refocus it. Zoom to about there, and then focus to there. All right. Focus assist will jump out again in a second, and then we'll be able to see the whole thing. I'm going to start with just some basic, I'll start with just some basic parts. Gavin is here. Good morning, Gavin. Henrik said, what's the best, plugged vias or unplugged? The majority of the time, unplugged is fine. Plugged vias are something that you would do in a special situation when it's a critical thing. It adds a fair bit of cost to the board production process. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just having a look at the board design. That and that. Oh, that's hard to see. I'm going to have to turn off some layers. This is what I'm looking at right now, because I was just looking for values of parts and things. Yeah, because I haven't assembled this board before and I was being lazy, normally what I do is go through and normalize all of the designators and things, and I put them all at the, I move them all to nicely readable locations, but I just never bothered to do it for this board. So they're all illegible and in bad locations. What is that? Oh yeah, that's the DRV. The motor driver. So this is, oh come on, oh come on, Fusion, stop being annoying, let me pick that piece up, there, 15K, yeah, okay, so I'm going to turn off some layers, Let's get rid of these. Bottom, T place, B place. Yeah, that makes it a lot more legible. Alright. So I'm in single layer mode now. What's that? 560R. Oh, what's that for? I can't even remember why there is... pick that stupid thing up. That's better. So what have we got? 7002. I need a couple of optos. 7002. Oh, inconsistency. This really gets my OCD. I don't like this at all. Look at this. Over on this side of the board, I've got a transistor. There's the bias resistor that biases it off, and there is the current limiting resistor to drive it in this vertical configuration, and like with the two resistors horizontal stacked above each other. Over here, the exact same circuit, and it's in a vertical configuration with the two resistors side by side. I can see why I did it that way. It's because the trace for this comes off in this direction. I could have done the same on this side, and then they would have been consistent. Oh, that breaks my mind. That right there. That over on that side, and that over on that side. I don't like it one little bit. Now, oops, I need to find myself some transistors. 2N7002s. It's empty. My little container of 7002s is empty. I've got reels and reels of them. It's just that my little stash that I normally keep on the desk is empty. So I'm going to go and I'll leave you staring at that for a minute. Oh no, what I'll do, better still, let's go to that. And I am going to go and wander into the cleanish room, because there are 7002s right here, well there should be, sitting on top of the pick and place machine. I've got a whole lot of discarded parts here. 2F, no that's not one. That is a, what is the 2F? I think that is a can protection Zener. I've got this little random pile of parts. What's that one? No. It'd be really annoying if I had to actually pull one out of a feeder. Come on. F to F to F. There we go. There's a 7002. Every now and then I dump the discard tray. But this is the dregs of the discards. What's this one? 2F, no. This is a totally dodgy thing to be doing. And it's because I was not organised. Come on. It's got to be a 7002. There it is. Okay, got another one. Hopefully I only need 2 on that. Hang on, but there are relays. I can't remember. I might need more 7002s. Let's see. Is it only 2? Oh, there's something else over there. Oh no, that's a can protection Zener. Oh, come on. I should have set up a pick and place job to do this instead of hand placing everything. What I need now, while I'm doing this part of it, is for people to be talking to me using the text-to-speech, because I can't imagine a little divided tray and a program for the PMP to stock up standard parts for the bench. Yeah, Would soldering a wire inside a via increase the vire's conductivity? It says wagon loads. Okay. Oh, only mods can use text-to-speech. Right. That is a setting. So one option would be if Mitchell is around. I think Mitchell can change it so that anyone can use it as well. Like you can change that setting. Okay, now, vias. Vias conductivity. Yes, plugging it does increase the throughput, as in its current capacity. But I remember talking about this on a live stream a little while ago. The current carrying capacity of a via is way more than you think it is. It's actually more than the trace leading to it, typically. So that's the 10K, and that must be the 10K over there. This whole thing is going to be very itsy bitsy. This assembly process I'm talking about, it's lots of one-off parts. So it's going to be kind of annoying to be grabbing all the different parts that go onto this. Then I've got some diodes. What else? What are these ones and these ones? There is a 10K and a 560. All right. So this is the CAN transceiver. This one right here, that part is the CAN transceiver, and that's a 10K, which sets the slope rate on the CAN transceiver. So basically how aggressively it drives the bus. So what else is there? There's a 560.
Mitchell R said mods and supports can currently use it. Just the Avenue Joe. Sorry Henrik cannot wall. But we as mods can bring their messages up.
Cool. Thanks, Mitchell. So mods, if you see anyone else making comments and you want to bring it to my attention, please do that. What have we got? The CAN thing, then we've got a 10K. So there's another 10K up there. Oh, okay, so that's the output from the opto isolator. I'm sure I was talking about something earlier. And then got waylaid. Oh, I should have grabbed some opto isolators while I was there as well. That's probably a 10K. Yes, it is.
Imogen Ann says, tell it outside the box.
What was outside the box's comment? Will it come through? Watching live PNP. Yeah, another 560 ohm. Just there. What else? That one's a 15K. So this is on the DRV8871, which is the little H-bridge motor driver. That's what this version. So the previous version of the controller, I don't think I've got one handy to bring up. It was configured quite differently. So it had two of these connectors on the top. These connectors are for the PCB sensors. So the right-hand sensor, the middle sensor, and the left sensor. And it looks like that's backwards. That's actually because this board gets reversed. It mounts the other way around. So this is the left-hand side of the board. This is the right-hand side of the board. And down here I had positioned for a couple of motor driver modules, like servo driver modules. Not servo driver, stepper motor driver modules. But now I've replaced it with an H-bridge motor driver and connections to the front and rear motors, and then a connection here for an external stepper driver board.
Justin C. said, what size resistors are they? 0602?
0603, these ones are. So they're, well, it's different for different people, of course, but for me personally, this is kind of a comfortable size to work with. 0402 is okay as well, but it's just kind of annoying. 0603, because I've been using these for so long. These just, they feel like jumbo size. It's just the size I'm used to. So I've done stuff with 0402 as well, and 0201. 0201 is getting to the point where it's a real, it's a pain to work with. 0402 is okay. And why is that? Oh no, that's right. My eyes were playing tricks on me. Now on this one I was lazy and I used a voltage regulator module, and rather than putting the circuit directly on the board. But this is not a particularly optimized board because I'm only ever going to make a few of them. Alright, I think I've got all the resistors on. I need a couple of optos. I need the CAN transceiver. I need the motor driver. I need the MCP 23017, which is the IO expander. Let's grab that one because I know that that's fairly close. In fact, there are probably CAN transceivers in this box of stuff as well. I think there were, where were they? The IO expanders were in here towards the back somewhere. No. This box is getting annoyingly large. I might need to break down subcategories. I've already split off a few other categories, like sensor parts are pulled off into a different box. Oh, that's the wrong type. I need the other footprint of the 23017. This is the SOIC 28. I need, in fact, I wonder if I've even got those. Ooh, CAN transceivers. Okay, so that's another thing I need. Let's see if I might have to do those put that on another time. I'm pretty sure I've got some around, but I don't want to spend lots of time searching. So yeah, it's not in this box anyway. So this is my these are the 23017s in SOIC 28. That's not going to fit. I will put on the CAN transceiver. Oh, I've got one loose in the bag. Let's just use that one. Who knows why? Left over from something. What's the orientation? Oh, come on. That way. And then that way. I'm trying to do the alignment looking sideways, because if I stick my head over the PCB, it'll be in the way of the camera. Alright, so now I need some diodes. What am I going to use for those? MMDL 914s or something, I think will do for those. Just little signal diodes, doesn't have to be anything special. I've got some 1 hour. I've got some 1 in 5819s here.
Notification. 1 hour remaining.
But these are SOD 123, which is a fraction. It's got a slightly bigger footprint. So I am going to grab some MMDL 914s. Those are, I currently have a reel of those loaded in the machine. So I'm going to go back to that view, live camera view, and I'm going to go looking for diodes. Where can I find diodes? Oh yes, okay, so interesting. There was a comment earlier, I can't remember who said it, maybe Scott, about having a program in the pick and place machine with a compartmentalized container for dumping out the parts you require for a specific project. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Whatever you were saying to she who shall not be named, then just started getting her telling me about shopping options. Anyway, I have a pick and place job set up, which is a dispense job. Ooh, there's a diode. In fact, I'm going to look in the discard container. Get the discard tray out of the machine. Should be some diodes in here. Yes, there's a diode, and I just need one more. There's another diode. Okay. Oh, and while I'm here, I'll grab an SS56, and I also need some opto isolators, and there should be a few of those sitting here. Sorry, people are making comments and I can hear that my computer is talking, but it's in the other room and I'm having trouble hearing it. So, what was that comment? My shopping list? No, that's all right, Mitchell. It doesn't matter. It's just funny that you activated she who shall not be named. Turn the volume up. No, okay. So, right, I have a job configured in OpenPNP, which is a dispense job, and all it is 10 placements with the destination set as the discard container. So what I can do if I want to get a bunch of parts out of reels, is I just set the part to whatever it is that I want, and then run the job, and it just takes the parts out of the reels.
Says that Imogen and it's likely due to their natural habitats, food sources, or migration patterns.
Okay, I don't know what that was about. Someone's talking about animals. Yeah, so if I want to, right, I'm going to switch to the microscope briefly because it's hard to see the orientation of the diodes. I can see the marking on the PCB easily enough, but the marking on the diode itself, you see there's a line towards the bottom. It's only like a faint grey line. It's not that easy to see when I'm just looking directly.
Ask Steve the squirrel why birds suddenly appear.
Oh, why birds suddenly appear? Do you mean you can hear them in the background here? There we go, that way. And where's the next one? There, it's upside down. Flip, flip, turn it around, and there. Okay. Now, motor driver and can protection, Zener. And that's about it, which means I really should go and wake up the reflow oven. I'm a stranger to love.
Ann said no. The goblin in my brain is winning today.
The goblin in your brain? No, don't let the goblin in your brain win today, Emmy. You can defeat the goblin. Alright, reflow oven on. I want program 12 and go. Right, that's on and warming up. You can, if I put that on there, you'll probably see the conveyor moving very slowly. So the conveyor is now running. Oven is warming. I know it's ridiculous overkill to be running a 7,000 watt oven to put one little PCB into. But hey, that's where we are in life. Okay, now I need the motor driver chip still, the DRV8871.
Imogen Ann said ADHD lol.
Yep. I need whatever that resistor is. What is that resistor?
Lola said a full commitment's what I'm thinking of.
A full commitment. Okay, so I need a 120 ohm. That's the CAN termination resistor. It's in a huge.
Peter
What is
Lola
it?
said you wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Peter, you're trying to win me over with song lyrics. I see what's going on. So 120 ohm. That's the CAN termination resistor. Then I need a 10K on the limit sensor. So that limit sensor is the sensor for the for homing of the y-axis. That's the sensor that detects when it's reached the back, the far open position of the conveyor. All right, I need to grab a termination.
Said, I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. I've got to make you understand.
That's it, Peter. Keep it up. So, 120 ohm CAN termination resistor. Okay, got that. What else do I need? Motor driver. I need a DRV8871. And those, I believe, are up here. Nope, not that one. Is it in here? I think these might be the DRVs. Do they look like it? No, they do not. No, those are CAN transceivers. Nope, not there. Come on, where are my motor drivers? They might be out in the other room. Let's find out. All right, CAN termination resistor and
Imogen
motor
Ann
driver.
said never gonna run around and hurt you.
Oh no, Immy, don't you rickroll me and everybody else in the stream. All right, motor drivers. Here we go. Motor drivers, DRV8871. I got rickrolled by someone else about a week ago. It was a picture of, in fact,
Peter Lawler
hang
said
on.
we've known each other for so long.
We have, Peter. All right, I'm going to find something because I thought this was quite
Imogen
clever.
Ann said Jono rolling on the floor laughing.
Yep. I've just taken you off any view because I'm going to look up some stuff in Facebook, in Messenger. This one, okay. All right, I think it's safe to open this. Oh no, I'm going to open image in new tab, bring it up here, and that. Okay. So this was a picture that someone sent me in a group chat a week ago. Always coming from Take
Peter
Me
Lawler
Down.
said your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Say it.
Yeah, I am too shy to say it. And too scared to say it. That's the thing. I'm going to need more of these motor drivers. I definitely need more of these motor drivers. I wonder if it's on my list of parts to order. Yes, it is. I can see on my whiteboard wall. Fear stops us from doing lots of things. There are many different fears, different types of fear. For me, it is social fear, and not just that, but a specific type of social fear. It's the fear of rejection. All right, I'm going to get that off. Anyway, has everybody seen this? Opposite words. On the back of the car, I thought this was funny. So, Emmy, you have been rickrolled. What's the orientation on this? Where's pin 1? Up in the top right. Okay. Pin 1, top right. Yeah. Fear. We all have fears. We have different types of fear.
Said inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game, and we're going to play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see.
Imogen Ann said we have now been rickrolled L.
How did this become the the song lyric live stream? It sort of just happened somehow. Now, I just want to check whether those those SOT 23 parts really are. Those are the ones. Where are we? 24C. No. Okay. I need to get in my diodes. In my diodes container, I should have. Yes. There we go. Can protection. Transient voltage suppressors. Let's sprinkle one of those on for good measure. Do the Salt Bay thing. You're bad what? You're not bad. Oh, you're talking about it becoming the song lyrics thing? No, it's funny. All right. Do I need to put any more parts on, or can I chuck this in the oven? I want to chuck it in the oven. So that's all on. That's all on. Yeah, screw it. I'm going to chuck it in the oven. If there's anything else that needs to go on, it can be done later. Although I'm tempted to take the paste off the MCP 23017. Thinking about that, or do I leave it on and just let it do its thing? I think I'll leave it on. All right. Let's go to there, and then switch to there, and I'll see if all right, I'm going to turn the volume right up on the computer. I probably won't be able to hear it still though from down the far end of the cleanish room. Let's see, do we have, yes, we're up to temperature. All right, we're going to chuck it in. "45 minutes remaining." Oh. Anyway, while that is going through, walking over here, this thing that you could not see very well, you can't see very well, this is the cabinet for the drawers, and it's currently at approximately its proper position. It's going to be about there. So these shelves that run along here are made with 3 segments of 2.4 meters, and that is right where one of the joins is. So this will be the end of the first unit. So the first workspace will go from here to here, and then that's just replicated 3 times. So chair would be right about here somewhere, cupboard on the left. I might put a mini fridge or something in there for solder paste and that sort of stuff. I couldn't hear that comment. I'm going to go back out to the other room so I can see the chat while I'm waiting for that to do its thing. And maybe we'll even be able to see on the camera when the board is coming out the other end of the conveyor. Now, what was that comment? Put a repeater speaker in the clean room. Ah, right. Yes, I need to do something. Peter was said I started with bad coffee. Yes. Okay. Well, while that's happening, I'm just going to chuck a couple of things away. What have I got? Motor driver has got to go away. I should probably also start having a look at some code and figuring out what I'm going to attach this to, because yeah, assembling this is only the first half of the problem. The other half of the problem is firmware. And I can't just say, whoa, that's a software problem. Someone else can solve it, because it's me that has to solve the software problems. Around lunchtime, homebrew should finish carbonating. Peter, so you're preparing a beverage for yourself? What sensors? Okay, sorry, I'm just looking around me at what's on the bench, what I need, what I should. Hang on, was there no power LED? I just realized I didn't put any LEDs on that board. Was there no power LED on that board? Why is there no power LED on that board? There is that. Is that? No, there is no power LED on this board, as far as I know. But there isn't even a microcontroller on this board. This is just a, this connects to, oh, where is the container? There. This mounts on the back of a WT32SC01. So this is from an experiment I was doing. Not that one. No, that one. Not that one. I want that one. That camera. Okay, so this is from an experiment I was doing when I was just checking the servo. I keep saying servo. It's a stepper output. I am just going to go yoink, yoink, and unplug all of this. And then we can use this one to mount the board that is currently going through the oven. And if I hear a crash, it means that I haven't been paying attention and the board has fallen out of the far end of the oven. So here is the PCB sensor in its little 3D printed enclosure. It's a bit hard to see through the plastic bag, with some more spare enclosures. And what else are we going to need? Oh, I need to find the oops, oh, I'm dropping stuff. I need to find the voltage regulator module. What did I use for that? Not that, not that. It'll be embarrassing if I don't have any of those voltage regulators. I could patch something else in if necessary, but I'm going to go and look for voltage regulators. I think they may be in here somewhere. In one of these, somewhere, should be some regulator modules. What have we got here? That. I think that might be it. Are these the ones that I designed onto that board? Yes. Awesome. Heaps of them. These are my tape. It's weird using the security camera for this purpose. But these are extension leaders for pick and place tapes. So when you're loading a, where's a reel? Where is a reel? Here's a random reel. When you're loading a tape into a feeder, you feed this part of the tape in through the mechanism that drives it with the little sprocket, and then the cover tape goes back and through a retraction mechanism. But usually when you're starting a reel, or if you've got when you're starting a reel, it's usually okay because there is spare length. There is a section that doesn't have parts in it. But if you've got a reel that's been cut off, for example, you may not have extra length of this cover, and these are special cover extensions. They're adhesive on one end, and you just attach it on and it gives you an extra length of the cover, so you can put it through the advancing mechanism or the retraction mechanism. Where's the position of the PCB? Where's it gone? Oh, there it goes. It fell out. All right, I'm going to stop that running. And what did I do with the module? There it is. I'm sure someone was shouting at me in chat to say it was about to fall out of the machine. Didn't need that board anyway. Yeah. Now what you can't see, what you can't see on that video feed, just out of view there, right off the edge of this conveyor, there is a box with padding in it. So what happens is the board comes off here and it falls into the box, and it just lands on the padding.
Said Jono, we were all fighting out nails there. The suspense.
Yeah, it was fine. I wasn't that fussed about it. Oh wow, parts out of position. This is what happens when you put solder paste down by hand and do a messy job of it. I mean, it's terrible. I'll show you in a second. But first, I'm going to address She Who Shall Not Be Named. And if you have her, you might want to hit the mute button. Alexa, turn on bench 1.
Okay.
All right. So that gets me a soldering iron, which was the critical thing. So check this out. Over here, look at this. This part, slightly misaligned, and it hasn't actually bonded in here. Yeah, I was being really sloppy with my solder paste application. These look okay. That's fine. This is fine. That's a little bit uneven in terms of its amount, but it's okay. That's fine. That's fine. This is uneven. This is the motor driver. There's actually enough on there. It's just that there is more on these pads than on these pads. These are all right. There are some bridges on here because I just squirted solder paste all the way down there. So where is... Let's just clean that off a little bit. Get rid of the bridges at least. All right. At some point I'm going to find where my MCP 23017s are. The ones in the, there we go, the ones in this smaller package. Because I got heaps, I've got like hundreds of the version in the SOIC 28. Oh, I shouldn't be using these tweezers. Those are my good tweezers. I need to use my rework tweezers. These ones. I've got tweezers, like if I stick this under here, see these tweezers have got red,
Outside the
Hold
box
it up
said,
here.
did we just hear your stomach?
I think you did. So there's red heat shrink on the back of these tweezers. There is white heat shrink on the back of these tweezers. The white tweezers are the clean ones, the good ones, and the red ones are the ones I use for rework because they end up getting flux and stuff on them. They get sticky and yucky. So I distinguish between them. I have different tweezers for different purposes. Keep the good ones clean. You need a clean pair because when you're putting down parts, if you have tweezers that have got crap on the tips, then parts don't let go. You try to put parts down and they stay on the tweezers. So yeah, that's all right. Anyway, I think this looks Steve. This looks acceptable. So I just need to solder on a bunch of extra things. What do I need to solder on? Some headers there, headers there, headers there, headers there, the module there, switch, relays. There's a lot of annoying hand solder stuff on this. Rip properly. Okay, there's a voltage regulator module. What is... Yeah, so this next bit is going to be kind of monotonous. Oh, I've got a whole lot of yellow ones. Let's use those up. I've got a whole lot of... This is my pin header load. This is my like level 1 cache or cache. It's my pin headers container that I have sitting right at my desk, at my bench. So I have bulk supplies of everything, but this is just like all of the odds and ends of random pieces. Okay. I could use pairs. So each of... No, I'm not going to bother. This thing doesn't do much current anyway. Each of these pairs is doubled up. So I could be using pairs of pins, but it's really not necessary. I am just going to... which way around? That way. And then I'll cut them off from the top. I'm just going to put a pin into each corner. Which way does it go? Arrow goes that way. So in plus is down there. So this is a is it a 5 volt? Yeah, it's a 5 volt regulator module. Takes the nominal 12 volts. So basically the idea is that this system, I give it 12 volts and it uses that for various purposes, like for motors and things. I need to sit this up off the bench a little bit. There will do. While I solder this on. The chat has got quiet, or at least the chat is probably still chatting, but the text-to-speech I haven't heard for a while. What is going on? Are people still there in the chat? Are you all awake? Or have you gone to sleep like me? Yeah. I regularly soak my good tweezers in IPA, says Scott. Yep. Testing. Yeah. I can see the chat. Oh, the chat hasn't caught up. Listening but working on speaker drawing. Oh, speaker drawing? The breakfast is soaked in and we're getting sleepy. Wagon Loads asked, how many amps does the 5-volt reg handle? The short answer is not many. I don't actually know. This regulator module nominally is rated to 3 amps, but my requirements are way less than that because all it's doing is supplying power to the ESP32 module, which I think pulls in the order of a couple of hundred milliamps, like a few hundred milliamps, something like that. And get rid of these, stopping them from zippy springing around. Oh, looks like I need a little bit more on there. Quick inspection.
Scott Miller said, Z.
Why did that fade off? Henrik said, if you look under the microscope, there was one resistor weirdly soldered. I think there was like a ball of solder. Yeah, there might have been. Let's find out. But probably nothing that actually mattered. Let's just do a quick inspection. Check the focus. Is that focus all right? I'll try to get it so the focus is good for you. There. Which means that it's slightly out of focus for me, but it works better through the camera. Not there. Yeah, it's fairly common to have a little ball of solder like beside a resistor. If there is excess solder on the pads, then it can ball up and it just gets stuck into the flux. That looks all right. There, what you see is shiny spots as well. It might look like balls of solder, but it's not. The diodes look okay. Yeah, see there are shiny spots there. That's that little shiny spot there. That's not a ball of solder. That is just a shiny spot because of the angle of the light. Same there and there. Same there and there. Yeah, they're okay. They're functional at least. It was a very crappy solder paste application job because I was just using a syringe, not using a stencil, and kind of rushing it and not being particularly careful. All right, so I need to put on, what should I put on next? Those 3 headers. I'm thinking in terms of height. I want to do the lowest things next. I think I will do CAN connectors next because they are moderately low. And for that, I typically use 4-pin, 3.81mm pluggable terminals. And on this one, I'm going to use the straight type. I'm going to use these ones so that the cable will come straight out of the back of the PCB instead of coming out sideways. I allowed for both orientations. That way? Yes. Just checking, just about putting it in the wrong way to validate. Yes, that is correct. So arrows pointing in both cases. And I probably
says I designed a PCB that links a Especially 32 to a LCD display that needs +1-2. So I included an adjustable 12V boost converter, so the display is powered from the Especially 32.
Okay. The display is powered from it. Especially 32, was that? Flash cutters deal with the tough pin headers. Flush cutters. Oh yes, these ones. These are Lindstrom flush cutters. They're micro bevel. Which model is it? The RX 8150. I love these flush cutters. They're really, really nice. They're pretty expensive. I think they were about $170. But it's the same story as with the chairs. You can buy cheap flush cutters. They get little dents into the they get little dents in the blades really quickly, and they become really crappy, and then you got to throw them out. Or you can buy a nice pair, and they last forever.
Peter Lawler said proof of Steph life, PLSKTHX.
Proof of Steph life. There's Steph.
Mitchell R said I have added a timeout bit, so we can time out PPL from saying things.
Oh, always adding features, Mitchell. And there is Steve. There's Steve and Steph. They can go. They're sitting up on the shelf looking over me. All right, what's next? Maybe these sensors. Ooh, I just realized what I should have done is left this connector off until I had put the MCP 23017 on, because it's I mean, it's not too bad. I can still get in there, but you can see that this connector.
Mitchell R said these people here keep me on my toes, haha.
Yep, they're always trying to find ways around the system. So you can see that this connector is quite high, and it is right beside this row of pins for this IC. And so soldering that IC, I'm going to have to go down beside the connector, which is okay. I'll be able to do that. All right, so in and out. I'm not going to bother putting those connectors on. I'm not even going to bother putting the relays on, because I'm not using the in and out yet. I want to test this with the CAN connection, and it's the motor driver and the steppers. These are the things I actually care about testing, because those are the changes. This ready in, ready out circuit with the two relays. So there is one circuit. This part of the circuit is for the left hand side, and this part of the circuit is for the right hand side. It's got the relay, which is the basically like a dry contact output. There's an opto isolator, which is the input side, and it's got the two connectors on there plus their supporting parts. And it's symmetrical so that the conveyor can be used in either direction. But that hasn't changed since the last design. These have changed, so I'm going to put headers on there. Limit. Oh, that's the limit connector. CAN termination. I should stick that on. Yeah, I'll stick that on next. And then I'll put on these connectors, I think. And termination. So for that, I don't know why, but I've ended up with this tradition that I use yellow pin headers for CAN termination purposes. I don't know why I chose yellow, but yellow I chose. So, where's a bit of blue tack? Right there. What's the time? It is 20 minutes left on the stream. So I don't think I'm going to get to software on the stream. But at least hopefully we'll get the board assembled and maybe some basic testing done. I don't know. Okay, CAN termination is on. I'll put the jumper on now. And then I want these headers. So connectors. Do I even have this one? I don't know. For this one, I was going to use JST connectors. I've got these. Yeah, I may have totally overlooked that. I might have to go and look in my set of Yeah, I've got a 4-pin here. What do I need? 6-pin. I definitely don't have 6-pin. And when I say JST, I know that's lazy. JST is the name of the company that makes the connectors. And they make many different types of connectors. So if you just say JST, it's ambiguous. They are XH series connectors. So anyway, I'll solder these on, and then I'm going to go looking for a connector to put onto the 6-pin location, which will go to the stepper motor driver module. All right. So let's go looking. I can turn that off and off now. It'll have cooled down enough. As I come up close to it, you'll probably hear through the microphone, hear the fan running. So the cooling fan on this keeps running when it's turned off, like when it's not in run mode. So I leave it running for a while to let the cooling fan do its thing, and then I turn it off. Now, what am I looking for? Over here, over where my drawers are. JST 6-pin. Yes, success. Turns out I do have some. I have some right here. At some point I bought a like a multi-pack, one of those bulk packs where you get 10 of every size or whatever of connector. So I've got at least a few of all of the sizes of JST-XH. Plus, I think I've got a bulk pack of JST-PH, and so I've got a couple of different series. But the annoying thing is I'm going to have to make up a plug and crimp these little things onto it for the connection that goes to the controller. Okay, so then I need limit switch connector. Don't know quite what I'm going to use for that yet. That was just a 0.1 inch pitch header. Oh, and I need a power switch. But I'll do the sensor connectors first. They're just an IDC6 connector. And I buy these in quantities, like literally 1,000 at a time. So I have plenty. Now, can I put all of these in place and then turn it over without them falling out? This is going to be the challenge. Just looking at the height of the thing. So I'm going to take that off. Then I'm going to get this little chunk of wood, stick it on there, turn it over.
Dennis Fries says, I may have missed it, but did you do a tour of the cleanish room as it looks so cool now?
Not really today. I've been switching to the security camera view as I've been walking in and out of it.
Want to see how John manages adding in the chip? Gonna be fun to watch.
Oh, adding in the chip. Well, that's assuming that I actually have them. I've got to... This is probably one of those situations that I've overlooked. I need to check whether I have the MCP 23017 in that particular footprint.
System notification. 15 minutes remaining.
15 minutes. Of course, my goal was to have this assembled and do the code changes.
Tradie Trev says he just wants to make it hard for himself, lol.
Yeah. It's got to be a challenge. Otherwise, what's the point of watching? Now, I'm trying to solder this while keeping my head miles away from what I'm doing, which means I can't see what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's okay, it's acceptable. All right, so we have the limit switch, not limit switch, that's the limit switch connector. These are the PCB sensor inputs, and yeah, I should see if I've got any of those 23017s They might be here in my to file box. What do I have? Switcher. No, that's not it. SPI flash. No. Bridge rectifier. Not quite. RTC. Different CAN transceivers. Different CAN transceivers. I've got so many CAN transceivers because I've been experimenting with different ones. No, not that. I may actually have a problem in that. No, I am sure that at some point I have bought 23017s in that smaller package size. Where is, let's oh, come on, there. What is it? I can't even remember what package it is. It is SSOP 28. Okay. Oh, someone is trying to phone me from Clayton. Okay, I'm going to mute you and take this call. This could be important. I'll explain. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I wanted to take that call because that was from Bunnings about the delivery of the cabinets, which were going to be delivered today. And the sad news is that the delivery company refused to do the delivery today because it's to a business address. They will not deliver to business addresses on weekends. So that was Bunnings telling me that they're not delivering. Yeah, we can read lips. Yep. I should have been talking like this. So, sadly, no delivery of cabinets today, which is what I was hoping for. Yes. So they're going to deliver tomorrow instead. What am I doing? That's right, I was thinking about 23017s. This is possibly not a problem that I'm going to be able to solve now.
Peter Lawler said, I demand some free sausages.
The stream. Free sausages? Yeah, I wonder what... no, Austin says, does that mean you're getting a delivery fee refund? No, unfortunately, because they'll still deliver, they just won't deliver today. They're going to deliver it tomorrow. I wonder if it's in the cut tapes? No. I am sure at some point I have had some SSOP 28 package MCP 23017s. Where would they be? I think I'm going... Oh, I've got one more idea. One other place they might be, well, two other places. I don't want to just spend the next 20 minutes of the stream hunting around looking for these. It's possible there are some in the drawers down here. Ooh, MCP 23017s. Oh, yes! Yes! Okay. This means that you get to see me try to put it on. working around the connector. So I've got these in my old filing system.
Scott Miller said woohoo.
Yes, you get to see me suffer. Why won't that come out? Ugh. It's so old that the rubber is kind of perished into it. That's not a good sign. Okay, let's see if it fits on the footprint. I will switch your view to the same as this in just a second. View switch, microscope. Now, because your field of view is so much smaller than mine, I can see that entire chip plus a fair bit of space around it. You're only seeing like the middle part of the chip. What I might do is zoom. All right. First, I'm going to switch tips on the soldering iron. I'm going to switch to a little bent tip, like a needle tip, and I will tack this, get the position approximately correct, about there, and then I'll just tack a couple of the leads. There we go, so now it's fixed in position. And then I'm going to tackle this back section. How is focus? There. In that view, it looks like it's offset to the right significantly. I'm looking up at the view on the monitor coming from the camera in the microscope. It looks offset to the right, and when I look through it directly, it is very slightly offset. But it's not much at all. It's certainly not what I would consider out of position. I think it's like a parallax thing. So anyway, I'll just solder those pins on. There we go. Now, was that too scary? No, not really. Because there was already solder on the pads. So this is where I am appreciating my decision to leave the solder paste on when I ran it through the oven, because it meant that it pre-tinned all of the pads. Then all I have to do is do that. So now I can, I'm going to introduce just a little bit more solder, because the soldering iron tip is quite dry. Oop, nice big bridge there. Let's get rid of that bridge. This is the wrong tip to be using for using the tip alone to remove the bridge. The K-tip's a lot better for that. I think that's okay. Yeah, looks alright. Oh, there's a little bit of dodginess up here around this pin. I think the joint is actually valid, but let's just reflow each of these to be sure.
System notification. 5 minutes remaining.
5 minutes. Alright. So that's the chip in place anyway. It looks kind of messy with all of the flux around there, but it's functional. So what else do we need? What else can I put on this? Oh, I know. I need the header that plugs it into the display. I need this big header that goes on here. So this mounts on the back of the display like this. And you can see there are M3 heatset nuts, or no, they're not heatset nuts, they're solder nuts. Or are these heat set nuts? No, they are actually heat set nuts. It's just that I soldered them on. They're not actually meant to be soldering nuts. They're meant to be inserted into plastic while they are hot. So that goes on there. Okay, so I need headers to go into there. I have some doubles here in my cache. I don't think I do. So I think I'm going to use a couple of singles and just cut it.
Imogen Ann said for those of y'all playing along at the last barbecue, thanks Jono for fixing my Switch controller.
Oh, so, hang on. This is 2mm pitch, not 2.54. So, the Switch controller. Yes. I fixed one problem and introduced another, which is very embarrassing. So I need 2mm pin headers. Oh, I wonder if there are some in here. I suspect I don't have any 2mm pin headers in my little local cache, because most of this is, like, almost exclusively it's 2.54mm. So let's find the 2mm pin headers. That's 0.1 inch. Aha. 2s, I believe, are in the other room. 2s. Yes, that's right. So, Imi's switch. There was a problem with the charging. Ah, cool. I could just hear in the background. There we go. 2mm IDC and pin headers. So there was a problem that it wasn't charging, and it turned out that it was, I think it was the polyfuse that had failed. Someone else actually suggested, it wasn't me that figured that out. So we were probing around.
Said I managed to get a new ribbon cable and installed it without short-circuiting it again.
Ah,
I
nice.
just need to play around with the plastic button placement.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about this temporarily. Oh. There we go. Oh, you can't see that. All right, what I've just done is just chopped off. So this is a 2mm pitch pin header.
Coffee and FOOOOOOOOD.
Most definitely food. All right. Well, at least you got to see me stick that SSOP28 chip in place. But we are not going to get to the point of running this today, which is sad. All right, I'm just going to get this pin header. Come on, why isn't that flowing? Oh, what's wrong with you? All right, I'm going to chuck this under here and maybe try a little bit of drag soldering.
System notification, stream is over.
It's almost over. The stream is almost over. Okay, I'm going back to the K tip, which is this one. It's that long knife edge tip. And I'm going to try drag soldering along that. So what I'm going to do is zoom way out.
Stephen W. says this is not the tip for this job.
The K tip. Yeah, for drag soldering, a lot of people use like a concave tip.
Peter Lawler said Steph and Steve are mere disappointed.
Oh, that one had too much thermal mass. It didn't flow properly. I should probably have squirted some flux on this as well.
Says best tip for all jobs is a 1mm chisel.
1mm chisel, the universal tip.
Said best tip for any job is a hammer.
How about a gas-fired plumber's iron? I'm going to have trouble doing drag soldering down the other side for part of it because the connectors are going to be in the way. I should have done that side first. In fact, I am going to do what I should have done in the first place. This will help. I hope. Okay. Let's try. The ground pads on here have got lots of thermal dissipation. Come on, get off there. I overdid the solder on that bit.
Tradie Trev says, how about a wave solder table?
Yeah, wave soldering, that'd be a nice way to do this. Except that it would have to be done before the other connectors are put in.
Imogen Ann said, what about the classic adjustable hammer?
Adjustable hammer? How is it adjustable? How do you adjust a hammer? Well, you can use a hammer for adjustment. Okay, I think that'll do. Now it's got ugly flux all over it, but it's all soldered. Oh, power switch. We need the power switch. Do I have those here? Yes. Amazingly, I do. In my switches box.
Outside the box said she uses an adjustable wrench as a hammer.
Oh, that's what you're referring to. Yeah. Does that fall into the classic school of anything is a hammer if you wield it hard enough? It may not be useful for its original purpose for much longer, but it can do the job of a hammer. All right, I'm going to switch away from the K-tip to a chisel tip for this. And where is my chisel tip? Someone has stolen it.
Outside the box said very analog.
Here we go. Chisel tip. Got a larger one, so I'm going to go for that. All right. Yeah, this large chisel tip is what I like to use for anything with a lot of thermal mass. Like in this case, it's the mounting tabs for the switch, which are connected to that big bit of metal. So this is quite a large, I don't know what size it is. It's like a 4mm, something like that, chisel tip. And it's fantastic for this sort of thing.
System notification, Peter is hangry 5 minutes ago.
There we go. Switch is in place.
Said it is big enough to solder a car radiator.
This one, it just about is. And connected to that iShun, yeah, the iShun soldering station, which is what, 280 watts or something. It's a lot anyway. 245 watt. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you can get a lot of heat out of it very quickly. So we've got power, we've got voltage regulator. What can we do? Well, what have we got? So we've got 5 volts there. I don't want to end the stream without having at least powered this up and tried something. So let's try putting 12 volts into this. Just make sure the voltage regulator is working. And then we can see if it powers up the screen once it's plugged in. But I'm not going to get to the point of actually playing around with software today. Sadly, very sadly. All right, so what do I need? I need to ask, she who shall not be named, Alexa, turn on power supply 2.
Okay.
All right, so now we've got a power supply up and running. I need to find my the XT60 cable that goes to that header. Is it in here? No. Where's it gone? It's normally right there on my bench. Where has my cable gone? I've got another cable over there that might do the job, but I want to find the cable that I want to use. Why can't I see it?
Some Call It Fun says, I'm just wondering if the voltage regulator module has its own power LED.
I don't think
suspense is killing me.
I don't think it does. I think there is no LED on that voltage regulator. Come on. No. Okay, I'm going to have to do something slightly different. All right, I'm going to run, I'm thinking this through. I've got to run power from there to another wiring loom which has a CAN header on it, and then I'm going to bring that back across to the bench. Part of the trick here is getting this over into a position where it's visible on camera, because the cable that I have available here does not go to where I need it to go. Okay, there. That is power and CAN bus, but right now it's not powered up. So I need to plug this in. I need to set, what have we got? 12 volts, 2 amps, that'll do. All right. This cable is now powered up. And so if I plug this in.
_creation said well considering it plugs into a WT32. The screen PCB has a power LED.
Yes, that's right. So I am just going to check. This is where I need my my on-screen multimeter display set up. All right, I'm just going to check that I'm getting something sensible coming out of here. So what I should be getting is 5 volts across these terminals. And I want that on volt range, high speed, 5.0865 volts. Nice, okay. So we're getting 5 volts coming out of the voltage regulator. I'm going to unplug, oh, hang on, I just want to check. I can't even remember. Does that switch must go, it's probably just in a fluke, it's in the on position. So 5 volts, turn it that way, it drops to 0 volts. Nice, okay. What I probably need to do is zoom this camera out a fraction more.
Austin's _creation said rainbow light reflection.
And oh yeah, you can see, yes, if I angle that, you can see the lights up on the edge of the bench. Is it changing color? No. Anyway, you can't really see it in here. Okay, all plugged in. We're all plugged in. We've got the display, we've got that, the switch is in the off position, and I'm going to drag across that CAN bus and power cable again. It only just reaches to this location. Plug it in. Now, if I flick this switch, we should get power. Either we are going to let the smoke out on the WT32, or it's going to work. Flick. Oh, look at this. We got power. Oh, look at this. Hang on. I gotta get just another little bit more cable without everything falling off my other bench, so I can drag it across. There we go. Look at this on the display. PCB controller V0.2, because this has got old prototype firmware on it, and it's telling me what its IP address is and the command and telemetry topics on MQTT. So it has tried, at least. I don't have confirmation on here that it's connected, but it should have connected to my MQTT broker, and these are the topics that it has subscribed to. One that it is publishing telemetry
Scott
on.
Miller said it's alive.
Yeah, it is, Scott. And the other one is what it is listening to for commands to tell it to move to different positions. So at least the power portion of this is working. We don't know about anything else yet, but power is working. And what are we pulling? On my lab power supply, it's currently pulling 160 milliamps, but it is powering both this plus another CAN, in fact 2 other CAN bus devices are plugged in on that same bus. So that's fine. Alrighty, so far it's a success. So the next step is I need to screw around with the firmware to test the motor driver for driving this is the actual conveyor. The horizontal conveyor movement happens through this motor driver going out to the 2 motors, one on the front belt and one on the back belt. Then I've got the connection to the stepper motor, and I've got the connections to the PCB sensors. So these are the little time of flight sensors that I will mount so that they protrude out from the frame and look straight up, and they'll detect the PCB above them on the conveyor. And they plug in there. So 3 of those will plug in. I've already tested this. So apart from being physically rearranged and adding a 3rd, so we've added the middle sensor. Previously there was just the right and the left sensor. There's now right, left and middle, thanks to Sion's feedback on the first iteration of this. He strongly suggested putting a sensor in the middle as well, so that I could bring the PCB to the center of the conveyor and make it stop without relying on measuring distance traveled or anything else. Just detect that it is there. So anyway, we now have 3 inputs for these PCB sensors. CAN bus was working previously. That part of the design hasn't changed. That video that I had, where are we? If I go to there and there and there, that video that I was showing here, this is using CAN bus control. So the command is being sent to the OpenKO controller, which is linked by CAN bus right down the bottom here. You can see the prototype of the old controller hanging off there. That white cable that runs through there, or the creamy sort of colored cable, that is
notification. Peter is super hangry. 15 minutes ago.
That is CAN bus and power coming from the OpenKO board and connecting to the conveyor controller. So the CAN bus part of it has been working previously as well. So we've already validated most of the design in the previous iteration. It's just the changes in this version to account for switching to the DC motors for running the conveyor, so running the green conveyor belt, and the 4N20, what was it, 4NJ28, I can't remember the part number, the stepper motor that does the width of the conveyor. And there is now the connection directly on the PCB. You can see on this video, can I zoom on the video? No. You can see on this video that there are lots of jumper wires plugged in. That was for the stepper motor controller board, plugged in on jumper wires, but now it'll just plug straight in on that 6-pin JST XH header that we put in. Okay, right. I am going to call it, oh hang on, Henrik says, and my 1 kiloamp fuse blew up. Does that mean that you successfully passed a kiloamp through a fuse? How did you, that is a baffling question. A kiloamp. A kiloamp. All right. So, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. Doesn't feel like, as usual, it does not feel like, oh, got to get these off, my hands are all, I'll leave them on because I'm going to do a bit of cleanup after.
Alexa, congratulate me on a prototype working first time.
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you for trying that, Mitchell. And also, I see what you did with the special keyword workaround there. That's clever. Some call it fun. Had plan a base to replace those plastic tubs. Which
Alexa,
plastic tubs?
congratulate me.
Oh, I didn't trigger that time. It kind of half woke up. Yeah, oh, Mitchell. Yes, so only the two of us can use it. Otherwise, anybody else could see what you did. The ones in the video holding up the conveyor. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, the the plastic tubs holding up the conveyor. That is, yeah. I just chucked some containers down there to sit this at the end of the. You can see that the height doesn't even match. It's probably 30 or 40 millimeters too low. The only reason that I put it here was that I wanted to test the communications between the OpenKO controller and the PCB controller, and the conveyor controller, and this way I could just visually verify that the width was working. So I just put it in a position where it was aligned with the end of the conveyor, but the height isn't correct. It's sitting low. I just wanted to be able to see that I move the KO to a certain position and then the other conveyor moves to that same position as well. All of this comes into a much bigger conversation about mounting bases for this, and so I've been talking to my friend Plasma Steve about building bases. So we're going to weld up some steel frames and raise the pick and place machines and mount the conveyors. All of that stuff is finally starting to happen. Right. It's a placeholder for some cinder blocks. Right. That's right, Emmy. I'll replace the plastic tubs with cinder blocks. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to call it and end the stream. So, because I said I'm going to call it, the stream
Alexa,
is over.
Congratulate me.
It's still not, yeah, it's still not triggering. It might have been because I was talking at the same time. I've noticed that She Who Shall Not Be Named can have trouble if there is background noise. So if I've got like a video playing on the computer and I try to talk to it, I've got to talk really loudly. And because I was talking, it's probably...
Peter Lawler said, "Go home, John."
Okay. All right. Because Peter said go home, John, it is time to end the stream. Thanks for coming along and suffering through me being very, very slow and inefficient about assembling this board. And next week, yeah, I really need to get this working. So I am not going to wait for next week before doing firmware. I'm going to get firmware going on it. And next week, at least, you should be able to see it working rather than just steps along the way. And maybe then I'll show what I'll do the firmware changes and I'll show you the firmware changes. So next week, working system, and we can talk through it. All right. Emmy, thank you for telling everybody to like and subscribe. Okay, I will see you all later. Bye.